It was absolutely everything I expected it to be. Hey, I'm Amy and welcome back. Today I am talking about the new Tomb Raider movie. No, not the Angelina Jolie ones. There is a totally new Tomb Raider with a totally new Lara Croft, and it is Alicia Vikander, and I was very excited for this movie. Before I start, I will say I know and care nothing about the Tomb Raider universe or whatever at all before this. I didn't care about the video games. I didn't know about the video games. I didn't know the lore behind it. I didn't know anything about the movies before going into this. So I went to this totally blank, only having seen one trailer, I think, multiple times. I saw it like a couple times whenever they would play it in the theaters, maybe occasionally see it on TV, but mostly I just went in knowing completely zero about this franchise. And when I reacted to the trailer on that on Stardust, which went a little something like this.
Finally got a chance to see the new Tomb Raider trailer when I went to see Proud Mary tonight, and it looks super cool. I can't wait to see Alicia Vikander as Lara Croft. I've never really got into the original Tomb Raider movies, but this one I think I could probably get behind. I don't know much about the whole thing, but it looks super fun, super intense, very fun action.
I ended up getting this comment from someone explaining to me that it is going to be based off of a video game and not a movie. Well, obviously I know that it's based off a video game, but I didn't care anything about this franchise before. It looked so dumb to me, and that wasn't really my genre of movies to watch when that first, I guess it was only 2 movies came out. So I just didn't care, and I didn't care that it was a female badass lead just because it didn't look very good to me to begin with. So with that being said, my expectations for this movie weren't super high, but they weren't super low. I was just kind of going for the experience, and that's what it ended up being. It just ended up being an experience. It was really cool seeing Alicia Vikander being the super strong, kick-ass Lara Croft on screen, and that's really all I went for. I didn't go for the story, I didn't go for the adventure. I just went to watch Alicia Vikander be super badass, and I was pretty happy with what I got. I also wasn't expecting the story to be anything super spectacular. It was just a basic adventure movie storyline. Honestly, I don't have anything else to say about it. I mean, the story was pretty basic. The lead character, Lara Croft, Alicia Vikander, was amazing. Her sidekick was okay. I don't even remember his name. I don't know the actor's name. He kind of was just tossed to the side. The villain and the dad, I don't know the villain's name. He was kind of just there, and like everybody else besides Lara Croft wasn't really anything else besides a secondary character, and I will get into that in just a second. I just want to talk a little bit about the powerful female badassness of this. Oh my goodness. Watching this, especially during the second act, I got such strong, like, Indiana Jones, but female vibes, a little bit of James Bond female vibes, because Lara Croft treats the male character, like the male like sidekick or any other male characters besides like her dad. Well, I guess she only really has like one main like male interest, like the way James Bond or Indiana Jones has a main female interest. She kind of treats them the same way that Indiana Jones would treat them, but since it's a male, he does have a little bit more to do in the movie, whereas in like Indiana Jones or James Bond, a lot of the women don't have a lot of forward story motion besides being like the femme fatale or the damsel in distress. So flip that. It's more damsel in distress for Indiana Jones, femme fatale, and James Bond. But in Tomb Raider, the male interest or whatever, because they don't really go much farther than saying a couple lines, give a couple glances, that they are interested in each other, he actually has stuff to do, and he tries to save Laura's life, even though she does kind of save herself, and he just moves a couple rocks for her. There was also this one random moment when she's like being basically a Postmates on a bike. She was getting some food from a Chinese restaurant, or maybe it was an Indian restaurant. I can't forget. Or I forget. It's kind of hard for me to remember much of the beginning, like the exposition of this movie, because it was just very obvious exposition that you knew was going to happen, kind of the background and lead up to Lara Croft's character. But she was at this Indian restaurant or Chinese restaurant. It was an Asian restaurant anyways. And it was this kid, like he was probably her age, with his family, and they were making the food that she was going to deliver to whoever her postmate or whatever she was delivering for. And the parents were like giving this kid a nudge to like ask Laura out, and he didn't. And they kind of just don't do anything with that. And I feel like that was just kind of a stupid point in the story. Is this showing how much guys are interested in her, or is it just kind of, is this going to be a plot point later on, because it was like a very small thing during a bike race later on, but really had nothing to do with anything. It was just like she just rode past him and said hey. But yeah, that I think was kind of stupid. But you know, it's kind of like the way Indiana Jones or James Bond treats any other women in their movies. They're kind of just throwaway characters a little bit, and that's kind of how, at least that one character, I'm pretty sure it's Indian actually. That boy that she was getting food from for her delivery was in one of James Bond or Indiana Jones's movies, a female character like that. But the Japanese, well, I guess they were in Hong Kong, so he was Chinese. The guy that she takes the boat to the island with, he was more of the interest character for Laura. And if they're making a sequel, which I hope they do because they alluded to it at the end, it'd be really interesting to see him continue on with Laura versus how Indiana Jones and James Bond usually just have their girls and throw them away after each movie. So pretty quick review from me. There are a couple fun things I wanted to touch on, like the fact that Nick Frost has 2 cameos in this. Not 1, but 2. Same character, but 2 different spots. And I absolutely love that. He is probably the funniest part of this movie. He is so good. But when is Nick Frost not good is the question, really. But yeah, if you're going to see this movie and you don't really care about the story, go see it for how badass Alicia Vikander is and the Nick Frost cameos, because those are really the 2 best parts of this movie. There is one thing that I really did kind of want to hit on that really bothered me a little bit, was this movie was almost 2 hours long. It felt a little bit longer, mostly because I think there were 3 or 4 different endings. You think it's gonna end? It doesn't. You think it's gonna end? It doesn't. You think it's gonna end? It alludes to a sequel. I hope they keep going with this, because it will be nice, like I said, to see Alicia Vikander as Lara Croft, a better Lara Croft than what I have seen when I breezed through little bits and pieces of the original Tomb Raider. I wasn't super fond of the way Angelina Jolie did it, because her fake accent was so fake, and the effects and all that stuff were just really bad. It looked almost as bad, if not worse, than the clips I've seen of the actual Lara Croft, the original video games. Which again, I know literally nothing about either the video games or the original movies. I don't really care. I'm probably never going to play or watch them. So this is my Lara Croft. This is what I want to see, mostly because I love Alicia Vikander. She has a cool name, for one, and 2, she is amazing. She's so badass and she's so cool. So definitely go check this out. My rewatch, my score for this would be a Netflix. I would not rent this. I probably wouldn't add it to my collection. I like the movie. It's like a popcorn flick. It's something I would rather see maybe in the theater again, if there's nothing else to watch, if Black Panther's out of the theater and this is still in, and I have a free day where I have no work or nothing, which is kind of impossible. I usually am working constantly, but this is probably a movie I would go see again. Take a friend with me. Just sit down and have some fun watching Alicia Vikander be a little badass. But that is all I have. Please let me know what you thought of the Alicia Vikander Tomb Raider in the comments down below, and how you think it compares to the Angelina Jolie one and the video game. But thank you guys so much for watching. I really truly do appreciate every single one of you, and please let me know who you are in the comments down below, and let's be friends. If you enjoyed this, leave a like and subscribe if you're new, because I talk about all things movies, TV, filmmaking, film history, and I hope to see you guys next time. Bye!